I noticed that a lot of y'all will judge a man based on if he gives you flowers, if he make money, how does he look, how does he smell. That's cool and all. But how that man treats you whenever he's upset, that tells you everything about him. It is so important to date a man who respects you even when he's mad, even when he's offended, even when he's angry. Any dude can be charming when he wants something from you. Any dude can have the right words to say whenever he's horny. Any dude can say just the right thing to keep you motivated whenever he's hoping to make an impression on you. A lot of guys are going to show their best when they want you to drop your other options. But when that man is comfortable, and most importantly, whenever he is upset, that's going to tell you who you're dealing with. If you agree, put I down in the chat. I want to know if anybody's ever lived long enough, been through enough relationships to see the truth in what I just said. Put I down in the chat if you agree with what I just said. I'm looking at the comments now. Cause some people gonna get it, some people ain't. Some people gonna get it, some people ain't. But any dude, when somebody asked me, Derrick, how do I know it's genuine if a man is in jail and he's telling me that he loves me or whatever? You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing about that man's character whenever he needs something from you, wants something from you, is horny, is whatever. You don't know nothing about that man until he gets upset. That's when you know who you're dealing with. Any man is going to be a knight in white shining armor whenever y'all first meet. When life is going your way, all of that. But watch how he treats you whenever he gets stressed out. Watch how he treats you when he gets angry or disappointed. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be the exact same version of himself. No man is going to be the exact same version of themselves when they're happy versus when they're sad. But what lines will he not cross, even though he's upset with you? What words will he not say, even when he's upset with you? What threats does he refrain from, even when he's upset with you, even when it's legitimate? Because I guarantee you, if he's upset, he thinks it's legitimate. But that's when his real character was going to show up uninvited. So does he become cruel? Does he become dismissive? Does he become punishing? Like, what does he do? Does he withdraw? Does he withdraw love? Like it's a privilege that you've now lost. I'm not talking about he's not the exact same version of himself and overflowing with that love, of course. But do you notice that he's intentionally trying to punish you with some level of abandonment, intentionally withdrawing love, withholding it until you do what he says or you make him feel good again? Does he make you responsible for managing his emotions while yours become irrelevant? Like, these are questions you need to ask yourself, not how tall he is, not how much money he make every year, not if he makes $100,000. A man's upset behavior is his character inventory on full display. You got to make sure that you're paying attention because his worst moments are telling you exactly who he is when the mask slips off. Lorraine says, and I'm going through that right now as you speak. Wow, this is on time. I'm telling you, like we judge whether or not we can make things work based on the wrong metrics. It ain't about the good times. If I give y'all any kind of game, and I got to make this one short and sweet because I got to talk to our mentees here in a couple of minutes, but never judge you and a person's relationship chances based on the good times, how good things feel, how high up you can get, how good, it feels when y'all got chemistry and you're flirting and the drinks are flowing and the dates are happening. Nobody breaks up because the good times weren't good enough. Nobody. If it's strictly based on the good, you can make it work with anybody. People dismantle because the bad times are horrible and beyond what they thought they ever would be. The person doesn't suffer well. They're in a bad space in just life in general. They don't do well. They project on everybody. That's why people split up. That's when you have a lot of dudes that'll show their true hand. Like if you let a guy provide for you and he's not genuinely a good provider, and not by good, I mean, you got genuine providers and then you got predatory providers. I've talked about this before. A genuine provider, he's going to provide for you no matter how he feels. If he got it, you got it. Once he accepts the responsibility of taking care of you, just like if you were one of his children, I'm not trying to be demeaning. But it's just like that in that he's not going to kick you out because he's upset or you disappointed him or you hurt his feelings. That's a genuine provider. Then you got the predatory provider who the moment he gets upset with you, he going to remind you out on the streets if you don't make him happy again. Without him, you wouldn't have nothing. That's a predatory provider. He's using it as leverage. He's always going to make you feel like your livelihood is in his hands and at the whim of his emotions. This is why I always say, like, you got to come from a place these days. The odds are not in your favor to date a man who is a genuine provider. Yes, they exist. Yes, we exist because I'm one of them. But most men these days who provide are not genuine. They are predatory in their provision. And you got to come in. If you ain't got at least $15,000, $20,000 stacked up, because that's what I think it takes to be at least financially secure enough to have the mobility to move around. If that relationship gets too toxic, you at least got to have a 700 or more credit score. You got to. And now if you're listening to this and you're saying, well, D, I've made some mistakes. There are credit repair specialists out there. There's some that ain't that good or some that are just straight up scammers. I know of one who is incredibly proficient. He did my credit repair when I needed it. And I got an 816 now. I started like a 490. If you want my credit repair specialist, I'm going to comment this right now because I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm going to plug y'all in. I just put the link down there. He said he can get 10 more people in at this discount he's been doing lately. I think for the last week. He got 10 more slots for those who also want credit repair. He did mine now. This ain't somebody I think does good. He did my credit repair. 10 more people at the discount. I think the discount is instead of $2,000, $250 for the next 10 people. Comment the word fixed if you want me to send you a link so you can get your credit fixed. 30 days or less. There's no excuse for anybody listening to not at least have a 700 credit score. And with that 700, you can go and get you $15,000 to $20,000 in credit in case you need emergencies or whatever the case may be. But with that being said, you as a woman cannot leave your livelihood up to most men and their emotions today because most men, one, don't provide. Two, if they do, they are predatory when they do. And it's a hard lesson learned when you realize the man that you've allowed to be the one that you lean on, to take care of you and your children, that he ain't the same man when he's upset. He becomes a tyrant when he's upset. And the same thing goes vice versa. If you got a guy, he done been pissed off at you. I'm talking about going to the guest room or don't want to talk to you or whatever the case is because he's emotionally regulated, but he doesn't change core principles. He never threatens your safety. He never calls you out your name. He never, any of those things. If he is providing for you, he never threatens your livelihood. Then you know what you're dealing with. You know that you got you somebody. Okay, I can, like when the storms get to storming, I can be safe here. But either way it goes, his anger is going to reveal whether he sees you as his partner or his emotional punching bag. Because stress doesn't create character. It reveals it. It reveals what was always there. So how he handles his emotions when you're present shows how safe you are in his space. Like if he got a bad day at work and comes home taking it out on you, snapping about, dinner or criticizing every little thing about you, like on a personal, foundational level, not because you actually did anything wrong, but now all of a sudden he got problems with how you look and your weight and your this and your that, or he's finding fault with everything that you do. You're not his partner. You're his target for frustration he can't direct at the real source. He's going to treat you like an emotional dumping ground instead of his safe harbor. Instead of trying to find peace, trying to find that stability with you because you are making yourself available in that way, he's going to find a way to project everything he's feeling to try to get it out of him onto you, which is only going to make things worse anyway. Let me be very clear. It's only going to make things worse. Oh, yes. So I know I kind of moved kind of quick through that whole credit thing. It's not about having a credit repair specialist or whatever. It is about coming in, being able to choose the man that you want, not the man that you need, because these days, most men are not safe to be needed in that way. There are some men that are. There are some men who are. But if you are not currently dating or you're dating a man who has not proven that he can provide and from a genuine place that even if y'all up and down, y'all may break up, y'all already broke up, he's still going to hold it down. You need to have your own financially. It's one thing to say, okay, you may have to leave the relationship if that man gets upset and he don't know how to handle that. But if you have your survival wrapped up into that man and his emotions and he can't regulate them, you're playing a dangerous game. Even worse if you got children. Ask a lot of these women these days who are staying in relationships that are unhealthy and dangerous because they ain't got the money to move around. They ain't got the money to start a new job or to get into a new home and pay the upfront cost, the first and last month's rent. Ask those women who are staying put in really toxic situations because they ain't got the money. And with the cost of living, you need at least $15,000 to $20,000. If you ain't got that, most people don't. You can at least get you a 700 credit score for $250 in the next 30 days. Now, most legitimate credit repair specialists don't charge that. They charge $2,000, maybe $1,500 on the low end. But again, my credit repair specialist is taking the next 10 people that's coming through my link. I'll put the link down there in the comments, or comment the word fixed if you want my credit repair specialist to fix your credit. Ain't no gatekeeping over here. But again, that's if you want the discount. That's if you need your credit fixed. If your credit score starts with a 4, 5, or 6, then I highly advise you to take advantage of this. Late payments, repossessions, bankruptcies don't matter. You can totally repair your credit. Just try them out and you'll see. Anyway, back to what I was saying. When you are dealing with a man and he gets upset, you got to ask yourself, does he become emotionally unavailable or does he become emotionally destructive? Now, both are red flags to an extent, but only one of them is dangerous. You see, if he becomes emotionally unavailable, that may be reflective of his struggle to both exist in that being upset and that hurt he may be feeling and that anger he may be feeling while still pouring into you. That's normal, but it's a red flag depending on to what extent. Does he stay in that space for weeks at a time? Does he self-sabotage? Does he go out and cheat when it gets to that space? Does he do that? Or does he say, you know what, let me take me a couple of hours. Let me take me a day. Let me go fishing. Let me go for a ride on a bike. Let me go for a walk. Let me work out. And then I'm going to get back and I'm going to be okay. Does he do that? Or does he get destructive? Because withdrawal during emotional stress, it shows some level of emotional immaturity, but it may be where he's at in his growth. He may be continuing to improve, even though that's how he currently handles his emotional storms. Now, if he's emotionally destructive, does he look to tear you down? Does he look to cut you down? Does he look to tear down your self-esteem? Is he now all of a sudden getting things off his chest he never said before, but because he's angry and upset, he gonna make you feel how he deeply feels right now? There's a difference between him shutting down and, he just don't talk as much, or, it seems like he's even giving you the silent treatment for a couple of hours. And a man that's going to lash out, say hurtful things, call you names, threaten you, bring up your insecurities to hurt you back. Neither of them are handling stress perfectly, but the one who gets destructive, he's handling it dangerously. And that's telling you everything you need to know about whether or not you need to continue on in that relationship with that man. He is not safe. Bernadette says, what about a man that begs a woman for money? There's so much context to that. So in the generality, because I got to wrap up here soon, if he's begging you for money, meaning it doesn't make sense to you why he's asking for money, y'all ain't so deep in where you just readily will give him money. He ain't invested so much into you that you have no problem giving him anything because he's already giving you that value and you trust in him. Like, of course, that's a red flag. Of course, that's a red flag. But back to what I was saying, because I got to wrap up here soon. Make sure you date a man who respects you even when he's upset with you. His upset behavior is a preview of coming attractions for how he's going to handle every future crisis, conflict, and challenge. Current stress responses predict future crisis management. That's exactly how he's going to act if he loses his job, or if he has family problems, or he has health scares, or you guys have a relationship conflict. He's letting you know exactly what's going to happen. Very rarely are you seeing something that's a one-off, oops, I, just lost my tongue this day, or I just lost my temper. 90% of the time, what you're seeing is a pattern. It's shown up in every relationship before you. He's been this way his whole adulthood and probably even childhood. You're not about to change that pattern. Now, again, there's a trajectory he's on, whether good or bad. Things can get a little bit better if he's already working on that and being accountable, or things can continue spiraling out of control, worse and worse. Most times, and I hate to mention this, but trigger warning, in domestic violence situations, a guy will show some semblance of that red flag before he goes all the way there. Things can get worse. But again, in those times, he's either going to make you, if he's upset, he's not his best self. Are you his emotional support during those hard times? Or are you his emotional scapegoat? There is no in between. Healthy men turn to their partners when they are stressed. Toxic men turn on their partners. So you either his comfort during those storms, or you're his target when it gets stormy. Does that make sense to anybody? Put I down in the chat if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Because his stress response is going to become your daily reality, because life is 80% ordinary stress. Not perfect moments and everything's good. No, 80% ordinary stress, not 20% of perfect moments. Most of life has some type of stress. He's only going to get more and more comfortable showing that or doing whatever he does when he gets stressed with you. So that mask is going to protect you in the beginning. But again, how does he act? How does he act when he gets upset? That's going to tell you everything you need to know. Most of life is managing everyday frustrations, not celebrating special occasions. Most of life. If you do not have a man that can suffer well, that's important. You do not have a man that you need to build a life with. We have to be able to suffer well. Both men and women, by the way. But for most women, it's extremely important because a lot of times a man is physically stronger than you. If he does not suffer well, suffer may mean general life issues. Suffer may mean something that's going on in a relationship. He pissed off at you, et cetera, et cetera. If this man reaches for a bottle of liquor, if this man is ready to hurt you or the children, if this man is willing to cuss you out, call you names in front of whoever's watching, listening, you have a man that is showing you when he's upset, he's willing to make you a casualty, figuratively or literally. When he gets upset, you got to be attentive to if he becomes smaller or bigger. Does he shrink into himself, or does he expand into your space? Some men implode during those stressful times. Others explode and take everybody down with them. Now, both of those responses show a level of emotional immaturity and a need for growth. But expanding anger threatens your safety. It threatens your well-being. When a man becomes smaller, which I think is much better, he's withdrawing into himself. He may get passive aggressive, which of course is unhealthy as hell. But if he's making sure he keeps it contained, even that is a step above the man that's going to say, hey, look, I'm not going to be the only one miserable. I'm not going to be the only one hurting. I'm going to make everybody around me feel it. So when he gets upset, pay attention, because those are boundary tests. Is he respectful of your peace? Even when he's lost his own? If not, that's not the man you need to be building with. Because true character is the ability to maintain respect for others even when you're struggling internally. Your emotional safety shouldn't depend on his emotional state, especially if you're dealing with a masculine man. Now, again, there are levels to this. I and every man I know struggles when we are upset. Every man I know. But there are men that whenever they struggle, they make sure everybody else takes on that struggle, fights those demons, loses against those demons. Then they blame them, and they never do the work to get better at that quote unquote struggle, to get better at carrying their weight. So even when a man is furious about something completely unrelated to you, pay attention to if he still speaks to you with some type of respect. And that's especially important because, if you've done something to hurt him, yes, you may have threatened his emotional safety to where that changes the dynamic of the relationship until you guys can have a true and honest and real conversation. That's a little bit different than if he's upset because his tire got blown out or somebody cut him off in traffic and now he gonna be turning up on you. Again, this is why I'm so adamant about women having their own. I am a provider, a traditional provider. I grew up on that. I grew up believing in that. But if I'm just being real, most guys are not genuine traditional providers. Let's not even get on the fact a lot of times they don't even want 100% provide anyway, and they still want you to 100% take care of the house. But the ones who do take care of everything, a lot of them are predatory with it. And I don't want that to be the reason why you get in a relationship and you stay there with a man who is not safe to love, even when he's upset. So again, you got to make sure you have your own. You got to have your own socially, friends, family outside of him. You got to have your own physically. Sexually, if you got toys or you could be celibate, you got to have the ability to be okay without him. And you got to have your own financially. Either a nest egg, $15,000, $20,000, in case you have to move jobs or in case you lose your job because your mental health is just kind of recovering after that heartbreak, or a 700 plus credit score. And no matter how you get to 700, maybe you got one already, or maybe you done made some mistakes in the past like I have before and you need a repair specialist to come and make things right. Legally, of course. And that's honestly the quickest way to get a 700 credit score is to get a legitimate certified specialist who can take you from that 400 and something, 500 or something, whatever the reason why you got it, to a 700 plus in 30 days or less. I only know of one legitimate credit repair specialist, and that's the one that worked on mine. His name is Eli. I put his contact information down there. You can get the link and he will fix your credit. If you're watching this right now, if you're one of the next 10 people, by the way. Because if you're not, he's not going to do that. He doesn't have an unlimited schedule. But if you're one of the next 10 people to click the link or comment the word fixed, I'll send you a link where you can get his credit repair for like 90% off. It's up to you. But moral of the story is this. Again, how a man treats you, how a man talks to you, how he protects you, how he respects you when he's upset tells you a lot. Anybody can be good when everything's perfect. Anybody can be good when everything is sweet, when y'all, the sexual relationship is good. Y'all ain't had no arguments or nothing like that. But emotional maturity shows up when life gets messy. Don't excuse away his stress responses when in reality, they're previews of your future together. Your emotional safety shouldn't be conditional on his emotional state, period. But again, those are just my thoughts. I'm your internet big bro. You know I got your back. And if you got value from this, find a little arrow down here, hit the share button. I see some people commenting fix. Congrats to those of y'all who are getting in. If you have not yet, if that page still even loads up, in which on that page, when you comment the word fixed, the link I'm going to send you is going to show you where I show you my credit results from Eli. So I'm not vouching for just anybody. I would never do that. But this is the guy who fixed my credit. And I literally show you on the link I pinned down there in the comments, or comment the word fix and it'll show you. But anyway, if you want your credit fixed, hit that link or comment the word fix. I will send you a link to get it at a discount so you can get your 700 plus credit score in the next 30 days or less. And that way you ain't got to depend or be at the mercy of nobody's feelings. Holla at y'all later. Y'all be good.